Okay, what I want to talk about today is changing the oil in the 25 Kawasaki. This is a FH721V Kawasaki motor that comes on Gravely mower. This is a 260Z Gravely mower. What you're going to need to do this project, you're going to need a 10mm, either a wrench or a socket. You're going to need a new oil filter. You're going to need 2 quarts of oil. This is an Oregon replacement filter, 83282. You can see the numbers on that. The original Kawasaki filter, which I've already taken off due to time constraints for this video. The Kawasaki filter is 49065-7010. So that's the original Kawasaki filter. If you want the original Kawasaki part. But to get started, break open this little valve right here, which this is your 10mm that you'll need. Going to break open this valve, turn it counterclockwise until it spins all the way out. Turn it all the way out until it stops, and then you can tighten it just a little bit so it's all the way open. That opens up your drain valve. It's just like a water hose, cutting on a water hose. Open that up, and that lets your oil flow out. To help your oil flow out, you can take off your dipstick, which is your oil cap, your oil filling cap too, in this particular Kawasaki, to let it get air. The other thing that you can do is let your motor run or change it after you've just used it. If the motor is really hot, you want a metal type pan to change it in, because the oil will burn right through the pan if it's hot enough. I've had that happen before, and that's no fun trying to get oil, up and stuff with kitty litter and being environmentally friendly and all that. So I like to recycle, and so be very mindful of how you handle your oil and what temperature it is, and be sure to be safe. Don't burn yourself on the oil or the motor. Open that valve up, let it drain out. And this filter I just loosely put on here, but I'm going to take it off for a minute. You want to put oil, new fresh oil, on this gasket right here. And when you put it on, that's going to give it a nice good seal so that it slides on and tightens up like it's supposed to. And you'll rupture this gasket if you don't do that. This gasket will actually hit the metal and twist. So you don't want that to happen, and that's why you got to put oil on there. So put your filter on, spin it all the way on till it stops, and then I'm going to just hand tighten only, and good and snug. Now some people are really strong, some people are weak. Hand tighten only, don't put a wrench on it. If you think you're weak, maybe get somebody who's a little stronger to snug it up just a little bit or something. But hand tighten only. Now, I let the oil drain already, so we're going to tighten this 10mm valve. We're going to tighten it back up. So I'm tightening it back up. I'm going to hand tighten until it stops again, and then I'm going to tighten it back up with the 10mm. Okay, it stopped. Put my 10mm back on, and see, it'll turn a little bit. Now, see, notice I'm down here on the bottom of my wrench. I'm not on the top. I got some leverage, but don't have the really super heavy leverage on the wrench. I want to tighten, but I don't want to over tighten. Nice and snug, good and tight, because it's designed so when you tighten it up, it's not going to back out on you. So you got all that done. Now, need to pull our oil dipstick out, and this is also our fill port, and we will fill the oil in this motor. And I'm going to get a better shot so we can see that. I'm going to get a fill thing. I'll be right back. What I meant to say was funnel. And if you use a funnel, always make sure that you clean it out. It's clean. Look inside of it. Make sure there's no dust or dirt, anything like that. I always use a funnel because I don't want to spill any. This stuff costs too much. So, going in with the first quart. At the time that you change your oil, you should document on paper somewhere. If your machine has an hour meter, you want to document the hours. Like for example, this machine has 458 hours on it, and I would document today's date and the hours. And you can change oil in these machines about every 100 hours. I don't let it go that long. I like to get it when it's around 50, no more than 60 or 70, because these things work really hard. They're in harsh environments, a lot of dust, dirt, grime. So and I've never had a motor to break down on me internally. And I check the oil in them every single day. No matter if I just checked it the day before or what, because that's the only fluid that's in this motor is oil. So it's very easy to just lift the hood and check the oil. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the handy dandy. Just check to see where my level is. It's going to be high because I haven't cranked it up and there's no oil in the filter. So what I'll do is just crank it up, let the oil cycle through it for a minute or so, then check it again, make sure my level is good, check for leaks, make sure there's nothing leaking. This particular machine has an oil light on it, so I made sure that the oil light goes off, cycles off like it's supposed to. I think oil is now in the machine probably okay. I'm going to just let it run for just a few seconds. Okay. Now I'm going to do a second check, and this will determine and make sure we're at the right level. And we're right there at the full mark. We're just, if you can see this, just slightly above the full mark right here. So we're good. And but 2 quarts is what these machines hold. So we're not really over full. We're pretty much right on the money. But that's how you change the oil in a 25 horse Kawasaki motor. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take that long. The longest part about it is draining the oil out and